Hey, good morning, everyone. How are you all doing today? I do want to do just a quick introduction and make sure y'all can hear me. So if you can go ahead and look in that chat box on the left-hand side of your screen and drop a line into that chat box, it would be great. It looks like Layla's joining us from the Florida Keys. I would love to hear where the rest of you are joining us from. A few housekeeping items. This is IQ 101 Part 1. Is anyone else getting feedback? Wanda says she's getting a ton of feedback. Perfect. Welcome, Mark, East Tennessee. So Wanda, if you're getting a ton of feedback, I would do this. I would refresh my screen first. And then if you have a microphone close to your computer, I would turn that off because that could be what's causing the feedback. Few housekeeping things. This is being recorded. It will be on our YouTube channel and our Facebook page. I will share the links with you for those pages at the end of this session. Today's goal is really to get through IQ Office, how to edit your profile, how to send out messaging, what the CRM portion begins to look like, and how to manage your listings. Next week, we are going to be having another session, IQ Office Part 2, that will go through marketing, tools and preferences, and then a little bit on how to use the roster. And then in 2 weeks, we'll have a session on how to edit your website. So I'm going to start sharing my screen with you. You should be able to see my screen now. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. I know it is a little blurry for you, and I am working with actually the provider that does the software to get that fixed, but I will be sure to click slowly so that you can see things. How long have you all been in the business? Mark, Annette, I know is an admin, Byron, Jerry, Desiree, Lisa, Larry, how long have y'all been in the business? And are you agents or are you admin? Awesome. So we've got a few of each. Mark, that's a big move from Austin, Texas to Colorado. Perfect. So you all, it looks like everybody's been in the business a while, which is super helpful. So I will not spend a ton of time explaining the why of everything today. It looks like the shortest amount of time someone's been in the business is a year. But I think that you all understand the power of a CRM. So to begin, what we're going to talk about today is first, how do you log in and edit your profile? So to log in, you're going to go to your office's IQ Office website. If you don't know what that is, go to your office admin and say, hey, what's the website where I log into my IQ Office? And they'll give you that website. You'll enter your username and password, and you'll get a screen that looks similar to this screen you're looking at now. As you're looking at that screen, in the upper right-hand corner, you will see your username. And when you click on your username, you can go down and there's a section called My Profile. Now, when you click on My Profile, it opens out a slider screen from the right-hand side of the screen. And anytime a slider screen opens from the right hand of the screen, it means that you are in edit mode. So whether you're editing a listing or a customer or your profile, anytime that slide out comes from the right-hand side of the screen, you know you're in edit mode. And now as you scroll down, you can see information from you as an agent, any of your email address or your city or your cell phone that you need to update, you can put in here simply by typing and entering the numbers. Now, something to keep in mind is before you click on one of the other tabs at the top of the screen, it is very important that you click the save button. There is nothing more frustrating than entering and getting your information updated in your IQ Office and not clicking save and losing it all. So please make sure that as you're making changes that you are clicking that save button in the upper right-hand corner. On the right-hand side of the profile, you'll see a place to enter in your Facebook links, your social media is all here on the right-hand side. You also can upload your image. So to add or change your image, you would click on this upload button here, add a file, and then select the image from your computer. So you can select the photo, you can drop it in. It will automatically drop your photo into the photo box. And then the first image in this box is always the one that shows. So if you want your image to change, you drag and drop, and now that image has changed. As you scroll down to the bottom of the page, you're going to see a section that is called Profiles. And this is where you can insert your video profile URL. So you just paste that URL into that section. And then below that is where you can enter in your profile text. How many of you have updated your About Me section in the last 12 months? So if you have changed it, type yes in that chat box. If you have not changed it, type no in that chat box. Awesome. So we've got a lot of yeses and a few nos. Just a quick note on that. We live in a world that is constantly changing, and it is really important that at least once a year you're going in and updating your profile, whether you're adding a charity that you're passionate about, information about your sales production in the last year, information in a location or a life change that you'd like to share in that profile. It keeps you super engaged, one, with your clients, and B, because agents tend to come and go so quickly in this industry, it gives consumers a really good gauge on if you are in the business. Because if you haven't updated your profile since 2015, which is only just about 5 years ago, and it says won Rookie of the Year in 2015. That's awesome that you won that award in 2015. But now it's 2019. So what did you do this year or in 2018 that lets people know you're still in the business? So please do make sure that you are updating your profile text at least once a year. And then below that is a section for your email signature. And what's really nice is in this email signature, you can create your custom email signature by typing and using all of these symbols. So I can type my email signature here with my phone number and all my information. Or I can click underneath email signatures, and there are templated email signatures for you to use in here. So you could say, hey, I really like this dark gray signature. I'm going to choose that as my option. It inserts my information. I can edit the photo. I can say, okay, that really cropped me close. I need it to crop further out. You can enter in your information and edit it. Once you've made those changes, you click save. And a really nice formatted email signature has changed. Any questions on how to get to your profile and how to edit the text? Again, we logged in, we went up to Realistic IQ in the upper right-hand corner, and we went down to this profile section to edit. So, Mark, your email signature in your IQ office, and that's a great question. So Mark's question was, how does a signature relate to a signature that I already created in my Gmail? So if you have a Gmail account, your Gmail account is separate from your IQ office. Your IQ office is your CRM where you can create marketing materials, you can message out to clients, you can manage your listings, you can do drip email campaigns. And so this email signature is what will be used to send out in all of that material within the CRM. If you have an email signature in your Gmail, you can copy and paste it into this custom email signature if you would like. Yeah, so Layla asks, is there a way I can enter a video in the body of About Me? So Layla, there's a section right here where you just copy and paste that video URL. And then what will happen is when people go to your website and they look you up online, so let's just go and look at one of the agents here in my demo account. It's going to show that text and your video in this space. So all you have to do is copy and paste that video URL right here, and it will automatically happen. Does that answer your question, Layla? Perfect. So if you go to your website or your company website, you should be able to check that underneath your profile. So the next thing I want to talk about underneath your profile is this Preferences tab here at the top. When you click underneath that Preferences tab, this is where you can edit all your notifications for your leads. This is also where you can set your default property flyer, your default action plans, and we're going to get further into that next week, so I'm not going to overly talk about that. And it's also where you can choose to have your Zillow testimonials shown on your website. So that Preferences tab is really where you set your preferences for leads, testimonials, action plans, and that of the like. Wanda asked a question in regards to the website. And Wanda, are you asking about your video? And her question was, will that occur if you have it redirected to your website? And this video or this details profile not only syncs to your website, but it also syncs to the company website. So if I'm on the company website and I click About Judy Jones, it takes me to this page on the company sites. So this information does populate on the company site. If you've redirected your website to a third-party vendor, none of the information from IQ pulls to your other vendor. Underneath that Preferences is where you can see all your lead preferences. So Layla asked a question about how she was notified of her leads. And Layla, if you want to know about how you have your lead notification set up, you have several options. So you can notify by email, by text, or by phone call. You can set those to always, 24/7, never, or use your office hours below. And how you receive leads is determined by how you have your notifications set. And you set your own notifications. So if you only want to get new leads by text, you can set email and phone to never. Again, making changes, clicking this save. The next section we're going to talk about is this goals section. So underneath the goals section of your IQ office, you are going to be able to go through and set up goals for yourself. Layla, you're going to want to talk to your office admin about that then. That seems like a help desk issue. And I want to make sure we get through all our material again. So I'd ask your office manager about that. So I'm going to click this plus new button, and we're going to set up our goals for 2020. I can go in, I can say that my living expenses for the year perhaps are $30,000. I would like my commission take-home earnings to be $150,000, let's say. That means my GCI, which is my commission earnings I take home plus my marketing expenses, needs to be, and plus my living expenses needs to be $200,000. The average sales price in my market I would enter in. The average commission rate per side I would enter in. And you go down and you enter all of these numbers into these slots. What's really nice about it is after you've entered in all of this information, you click the recalculate button and it automatically lines out what you need to be doing. So I can see the average GCI per sale that I would earn. How many total sales do I need to earn? How many listings do I need to sell? How many new listings do I need to take? So this goals section really becomes a place for you to build a picture of what your business looks like. So again, all this was accessed underneath your name and going to your profile. I do want to make sure, do you have any questions about how to edit your profile or your preferences within the system? That's a great question. So Mark asked, is this private or is it shared with the management team? This information under your profile can be seen by the management team. It is only shared with the management team. It's not shared with other agents in your office. So if you set your goals, you can go in and meet with your manager and have a really good coaching session on what you need to do to achieve those goals. Mark, that depends on if your company is using the financial sections of IQ Office. Yes, Annette, management does have the right to look for it. Mark, you're part of Distinctive Properties, right? Yep, so the answer to your question is yes. But for everyone else on the call, so Mark asked does it capture agent actuals compared to agent goals so that you can use it as a report? And if your company is using the financial section, the answer to that is yes. Any other questions on your profile? If you don't have any other questions on your profile, I'm going to go ahead and go to the next section. Annette, if the company is using the financial sections of IQ, yes, it does come up in a report. If the company is not using financials, then they have to go into the individual agent to see it. So I am going to go ahead, we're going to go into the next section of this. And what I really would like to spend some time on now is talking about your dashboard. So when you log into your main IQ Office, you have several quick links. You can go to contacts and leads, you can go quickly to your messages and quickly to your listings. You also can see your favorite contacts. So I can see my favorite contacts here. I can also see any recent contact activity. So as I have contacts and leads respond and open emails or go to my website or log into their portal or view property, all of that activity builds underneath my recent contact activity right on my main dashboard when I log in. On the right-hand side, you can see that there is a to-do gauge, and this is where your action items for leads and contacts populate. So as you're adding action plans or follow-ups to contacts, they will populate on your to-do gauge. We're going to go ahead and jump into that CRM portion, so that contacts and leads portion of IQ Office. You can get there by going to your contacts and leads, or you can go into customer relations and go into my contacts/leads. Either of those places take you to your main contact dashboard. When you get into your main contact dashboard, this is where you can start to edit your people. To enter a new contact in, you can click on the plus new button in the upper right-hand corner. When you do that, it opens up. You can add a source. So perhaps this is a circle of influence source. I can add the name. I can add an email. I can add a cell phone number. Once I've gone through and added contact information, I click the Save button in the upper right-hand corner. Again, notice this is one of those slide out from the left-hand side of the screens, and I can see a lot more information once I save that contact. So I can add a contact type. So if this person is a sphere of influence, but perhaps they're also a buyer, I can go in and I can add a buyer contact type. Maybe they're also an outdoors person. I can add that contact type. I can add a contact type of farm and ranch. The goal of adding contact types is this. As you're creating marketing campaigns within IQ Office, you can add individual contact types to campaigns so that you are sorting and getting information to clients who find the information relevant. Because if you have a contact type of farm and ranch and you have a contact type of condominium, sending a just listed flyer for a condo is likely not going to resonate with your farm and ranch clients. So you can have a condo contact type that you're getting new listings and condo information and that sort of information to. You also can have a campaign targeted towards farm and ranch that maybe has information from the county on new zoning changes in rural areas, or perhaps you have a farm and ranch association meeting that you want to get out to them, or a new farm and ranch listing. So you can really drill down those marketing campaigns by contact types. The difference in a contact type and a source is this. A source is where you found the client or contact. You can only have one source. Examples of sources are open house, networking event, sphere of influence, past client, Cardis lead, USSA referral, outside agent referral. A contact type really takes the generalized source of that business and drills it down into a more specific area. Does that make sense to everyone? The difference between source and contact type? Perfect. Thanks, Layla. So as you continue to scroll down, I do want to just highlight this social profile. And what's really neat about this social profile is that it is reaching out by this given email address to find out more about your contacts and your leads. And so let me just open up a live account really quickly to show you how this works. So I can go in and I can look at perhaps Joanne. Yep. And I can see details about Joanne. I can see her Twitter handle. I can see images that she has. I can check for the profile again, or I can mark the profile as invalid. The nice thing about this is when you're going to reach out to clients, A, you can quickly link through to their social media to get a quick update on what's happening in their life. B, messages received on social media platforms are read at a 60% higher rate than emails. So if you're emailing a client and they're not answering or opening your emails, you have a different way to go out and reach out to them outside of email. As we continue to scroll down, there's a section that talks about My Portal. And what this portal is access to log into your website so that they can save searches and look for properties. So you can create a user ID for your client and a password. Once you do that, you can click Save, and an automatic email goes out to the client, and they get the information to log into your website. You can then go to this tab at the top that says Property Watch. And underneath that Property Watch, you can create a watch for your client. This information is pulling directly from your MLS, and it is updating as often as your MLS allows us to grab the information. Most MLSs are updating every 5 minutes. To set up the watch, you're going to name the watch. So we can name this. Perhaps we name it Wanda Fall 2019 watch. And you can then go in and set all your filters. So I only want to send her new listings. The price range is going to be $170 to $210. You can choose the style of house. You can choose the type, if it's resale or foreclosure or short sale. The size, bed, square feet, acreage, garage. Is there a golf course? Are there images? Is it waterfront? Is there a pool? On the right-hand side, you have the option to really drill down by location, either by state, county, city, zip code, community, school district. If they need to be on a certain street or a certain descriptor needs to be contained, like it needs to have a shop. Or you can go and you can search by a map. So you can drill down by a map and say, hey, they need to be within this Angel Park area. I can see now that there are 4 records available. When I click next, it's going to give me an option of send matched properties. I can send all properties, or I can say do not send. This notifies the client. So when I say send all match properties, it's going to send everything within that matched list. Annette, I don't understand your question. Are you asking if this description contains? Right here where it says description contains, or are you just asking if the style, if I choose townhouse, if that has to match what the MLS names it? Oh, I love all the questions. It's so much easier to teach these when you guys ask questions, so thank you. So there is, Michelle asked, is there basement information anywhere? Yes, there is. There's yes or no options here. So yes, it needs a basement. No, Michelle, or no, Wanda, wild card characters are not accepted because it's pulling from MLS. But Annette, like for community, if I go in, I start typing a community, a list will drop down, or you can use this icon on the right-hand side, and you can scroll through and check the communities. So for example, if there is a subdivision that is Suncrest and Sunset, or there's one here that is called Coeur d'Alene Place, and sometimes it's CDA Place, and sometimes it's Coeur d'Alene Place with an apostrophe, and sometimes it's Coeur d'Alene Place without an apostrophe. So you could go in and you could check multiple communities, and it would change your results. Does that answer your question, Annette, Wanda, and Michelle? Do those answer your questions? Awesome. So when you go to this next screen, you can actually preview these listings as well. So if you want to view that listing, you click on that view. It opens up the screen in the next box. Once you choose if you want to send all matched or just selected, so I could say, hey, I want to send this North Side, Oak Street, and Tow Bar only, and click finish or next. It's then going to show the email. Here's the email with those 3 properties, and I can send that property watch email. Michelle, which part do you need me to repeat? The part about viewing individual listings? Or about, so yeah, so when you set up the watch, and once you name your watch and you set your criteria, on this next screen, if I want to preview one of these listings, I can click on this view, so that if I don't want to send all 37 listings, I can open up the listing to preview it before I send it. Annette asked a really good question. If we're getting listings from multiple MLS systems, will they both be in there? And the answer to that is yes. So if you have more than one MLS feeding into your IQ office, all the listings feeding into your IQ office will be there. Did that answer your question, Michelle? And does that answer your question, Annette? And is everybody still on the same page as us? We've clicked through a lot here really quickly. Wanda, Sarah, Layla, Mark, Renee, Pam, Jerry, Kristen, everybody with us? Awesome. So once you set up those watches, you can see all the properties that have been saved. You can see emails. You can see if they've saved any, if they've removed any. You can go in and you can preview individual listings if you need to. You also can say, hey, I want to see properties they've saved, or I want to see properties they've removed, or I want to see properties that have been emailed out. You also can add additional properties. So if you say, hey, this one listing came up and it's a little outside the parameters, but I want to put it in, you can add to their saved listings for your agent or for your clients. So again, to be able to set up a property watch, you first set up the portal underneath My Portal, and then you go to the Property Watch tab. Any questions on that section? Are we ready to jump in and talk about follow-ups and action plans? If you're ready, just type in the are or ready. That way I know I'm not going too fast for y'all. Perfect. So the main reason to use a CRM is to really set yourself up for success when it comes to following up with your clients. And you can see this blue list at the top that says this contact is not assigned to any action plans. I can click this plus assign button and I can pull from company generated action plans or action plans I've set up. And I can choose an action plan to add to the client. When I do that, a set of follow-ups is automatically added and I can see those underneath the actions button. I can see calls that are need to be made. I can see automatic emails that are going to go out. I also, on the details page, can schedule manual follow-ups. So if I'm not ready to use action plans for clients, I can schedule a follow-up and say, I need to follow up with this client. We're going to talk about listing her home in October. I'm going to say, talked to Kelsey on the phone this week. Need to revisit listing her home in October after she returns from vacation, or whatever it is. I would like this to be due on the 26th of September. So you select your due date. You can say, I would like this to be notified the same day. If I am on a team and this is a lead for the team, I can go in and assign a follow-up action to a team member by choosing assigned agent. If it is a follow-up that I need to do as the owner of the lead, I can assign that to the owner agent. If you are not a team, it does not matter if you choose owner agent or assigned agent, you're both. And then I click save. What's really nice about scheduling these follow-ups and using these action plans is once you're back on your home screen, your to-do gauge is automatically populating. So you can go in and you can see all of the information and upcoming things that you have going on by either today, the next 14 days, or the next 7 days. As we get closer to that date that I set of September, what was it? It's 16 days from now. So September 26th, it will populate on my main dashboard so that I can start to go in and complete actions from here saying, email about portal setup. And I don't have to go in and go through every single one of my contacts. Now, because all of you have been in the business for a long time, you know how hard it is to work through a 300, 400, 500, 12,000 person list of contacts. It is much easier to see a daily list of who and what you do need to do to follow up with your clients. Frequently asked questions about the customer relation tab. 1, can I import a contact list? The answer to that is yes. So I can go into customer relations and there is a section that is called import contacts. If I click import contacts, a wizard will open that will walk you through how to import your contacts. If you need to go in and delete a contact, you go in to your contacts, you would open up the contact you want to delete, and you would click the delete button in the upper right-hand corner. The only difference, and I shouldn't say the only, the difference between contacts and leads is this. A contact is someone who you have entered into the system either by importing your contacts or by manually entering them in. They are your contacts, you've put them in, and You can edit, add them to plans, change the source, add them to a status. You can also delete them. A lead is something that has come in through the website. So someone's on your website, they click for more information, or they click to schedule a showing, or they click for what's my home worth, and they come in through the system. And those, you can do everything you can do with a contact except for delete. You cannot delete a lead, you can delete a contact. Yes, Michelle, you can search for a contact by the search bar. You would just type in their name, address, phone number. So I can go in, I can search for, let's see, say, hey, I need to see Jim. And you can search for contacts here in that search bar. Can I export my contacts? What if I want to export all my contacts out? Can I do that? The answer is yes. Underneath export contacts, you can export them here. You can copy your contacts. You also can share your contacts. So if you're on a team and you need to share your contacts, you would go to Tools and Preferences, and there's a section underneath Sharing called Contacts, where you can go in, you can create a share, and you can share your contacts with individual people within your company. That's a great question. Annette asks, can I make a lead a contact or contact a lead? The answer to that is no. Once they're entered in as a contact, you cannot convert a contact to a lead. Once a contact, if you have a lead that comes into the system, you cannot make a lead a contact. If, however, you have a contact, so if I have myself in here, I have Kelsey Fulton in as a contact, and Kelsey Fulton goes over to my website and requests information with the email address I have for her, the system will not create a lead. It will track that information as a contact. Does that make sense to everybody? Awesome. Hey, Nan, do make sure that how many people are on your team, Nan? Perfect. So you may want to go talk to your manager as well about creating a team user and just run through some of that with them to make sure you get set up correctly. Michelle, you cannot have a lead become a contact. So if a lead becomes part of your sphere of influence, they would still be found underneath that lead tab. You can do everything with a lead that you can with a contact except for delete it. All right, we've got about 15 minutes left this morning, and y'all have been great asking lots of questions, which I love. But I do want to make sure we get to listings so that y'all can see that part of it too. Next week, we'll go more through the marketing and the tools, and we'll touch on some messaging, but I do want to make sure you get to your listings. So on your home screen, you can quickly access your listings from this active listings gauge here. You also can go to listings and listings here to open up that listing dashboard. On your listing dashboard, you'll be able to see all of your listings. You have some options underneath this Actions tab next to your listing where you can quickly share a details, showcase, or at what's called an SLW. An SLW is a single listing website that has the address of the listing branded in the URL. The visual of that website is the same as the showcase website. So it's got a beautiful picture of the home, the description. If there's a video tour, it shows it. You've got all the gallery information here. You can, from this Actions button, go in. You can quickly share it on Twitter, Facebook, Pinterest, LinkedIn. You can also quickly access what's called an open house sign-in page. Or you can go in and you can edit your listing. From your edit listing page, you can add additional tours. So if you have a Matterport tour or a different tour you would like to add, you can add additional tours. You can rearrange the images. You can see all the details. Your listings are auto-populating from your MLS. So you do not need to create a listing. The MLS information will automatically pull over. If you have an attachment that you'd like to be made public, perhaps you have a property condition report or CC&Rs or a specific document that's public, you can upload a file to a listing and it will be hosted on the website for the public to access. You can go in and you can schedule your open houses for your listing here. There's a statistic out there that says potential buyers search the word open houses online up to 5 times a week. So getting your open houses in early and often only benefits your listings to get more exposure to potential buyers. And the last 2 things I want to talk to you about underneath listings are showings and reports. So how many of you have a software to help you with showings? Are you using anything to track your showings? That's a great answer. Nan says meh. So she may or may not be tracking her showings. Michelle, Sarah, Annette, Layla, Wanda. Okay. Pam, Walter, Larry. So some of you are using your MLS. Some of you are using Showing Time, which is great. If you do not have a way to track your showings, you can use IQ Office to do that. You can have confirmation by the agent, by the seller or the agent. You can choose to notify your sellers of the showings. You can type instructions for the showing agent, directions for the showing agents, and then any notes for you. So you can track everything that's happening. Really easy. Create a showing request. You type the agent's name. You put in the time, if it's confirmed, if it's a preview or an inspection or whatever it is. You can attach a questionnaire and you click save. Notifications automatically go out. When you close it, it shows your showings here. So you have a running list of everything underneath that listing. Underneath the reports tab, this is a phenomenal tool. So you can go in and you can add a seller to a listing. You can just start typing that information in. You also can add someone here. So if they're not in your system, you could say, I need to add Layla Ashkarian. The username I'm going to give her is Layla Florida Keys, and her password will be keys to Florida. I click save. She gets an email saying, hey Layla, your agent has set up a seller portal for you. I then can go in and I can set the range for the competition for her listing. I can set the location for her competition listings. And on the right-hand side, choose what this report entails. So I can say, I want to show her listing details. If I'm using IQ Office for showings, I check to include showing activity. If I am not, I don't check those boxes. I want web activity report. I want a competition report. I want to show my competitive listings. I want to show how people are finding it online. And then I can preview this by clicking view. Here it is. Here's the listing report for your listing. Here's all the website referrals and the web activity. Here's everything that's within your listings competition range based on my filters. All right here. What I really like about this is I choose when to send it. So I can manually go in and send this. I can say, okay, I'm manually going to go in, I'm going to send it today. However, I can also choose to have this scheduled. So I can have it send every week, every 2 weeks, or every 4 weeks. This is a great listing presentation pitch, and this is how it goes. Hey, Walter, I'm so excited that you want to list your home. Thank you for meeting with me today. I just want to go through a few things just right up front. One, all of us real estate agents do really similar things. And what it really boils down to is service. Because, Walter, if you're interviewing Annette and Byron to list your home, that's awesome. They're really great people in the community. But I do things just a little bit different than them. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set you up with a seller portal so that you can log in and see your listing statistics anytime you want. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to email you. Actually, would you rather get this email once a week, every other week, or once a month? Tell me after I tell you what it is. It's a report, and that report's going to have all your listing details, all your competition, how many showings you've gotten, all of your web activity, the referrals to your listing page, because I know that Byron came in and he told you your listing was going to be on 17 million different websites, which is awesome. But if people aren't actually getting to those websites, it doesn't really matter how many sites I list your home on. What matters is how many times people are seeing it. So is that a report that you think you'd want once a week or every other week or monthly, or do you want to just be able to log into that portal and see it? And Walter says to me, oh, actually, you are right. It doesn't matter if I have 17 million websites with my listing if no one looks at it. I would really like that email every other week. After his listing goes live, I go in here, I say send every 2 weeks, I click save, and it automatically goes out. As an agent, I don't have to worry about that. I also can then use this Actions tab. So I can go into the Actions tab. I can assign a listing action plan, or I can add individual listing actions. So if I know that my seller, Walter, needs me to call him every week because that's what I promised, I can say weekly client call. I can say it's due, it's starting on the 13th, and I can click save. Now I have a weekly client call. I know it's due in 3 days. Again, all of these items always populating on your main dashboard so that you can work your business from your dashboard. That is listings and the CRM portion in a nutshell. What questions do you have for me? Again, all your listings are automatically populating from the MLS. I do want to show you the open house sign-in page just quickly. So if you go into listings and you go to open houses, there is an open house sign-in page tool. You go to the open house that you're hosting, you click sign-in page, and it will open that sign-in page. The leads for this sign-in page automatically go to the agent who is hosting the open house. It will always show a beautiful picture of the home, a few details. Once the client puts in their information, they are taken to a screen that says, I want you to text this property and email this property, and then finished. The text goes out to the client. Just hang tight while I pull up my text messages here to show you what it looks like. Here it is, existing contact. They were a website send flyer. Here's the property. Here's the reference ID that they required. Kelsey, thank you for stopping by the open house today. Click here to view the property. That's the text the client gets. So this text is the text the agent gets. This text is the text the client gets. Here is the property. I'm going to actually share that in the chat box with y'all so you can see that link through if you want. Really valuable tool. An email is also delivered. So again, to get there, you go to listings, open houses, and then next to the open house that you're hosting, you click sign in page. The script I use for this, for people to sign in, is I don't push it right away. I say, hey, welcome. I'm so excited y'all are here. My name's Kelsey. And then Byron would say, oh, hey, I'm Byron. Hey, Byron. Great home. Here's a little bit about it. You know, it's just over 4,000 square feet, just over 4,000 square feet. We're at 2.45 million, 5 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, 2.5 acres. There's great amenity lists about BlackRock. Take a look around. When you have a sec, would you mind signing in? I did tell the seller I would get them feedback on how many people came. Byron looks at me like I'm a crazy agent, and I just let it go. He looks around. I say, you know, are you working with an agent? Are you just looking around today? What brought you in? He says, Byron says, A, yes, I'm working with an agent. B, no, I'm not working with an agent. C, I just drove by, saw your signs, thought I'd come in. D, it's Parade of Homes, we're seeing everything. I say, oh, that's awesome. So you are working with an agent. Awesome. So when you sign in, if you could just put that agent name in the comment box so I can make sure to follow up with your agent, that would be great. B, no, I'm not working with an agent. Perfect. Byron, you know, would you just mind in that comment box, either put something that you are looking for, or if you don't want me to contact you, that's totally fine. Just drop that in that comment box, and then I know I don't need to reach out to you, but I can still get great feedback to my seller. C, I'm just looking around, driving around the area. Perfect. You know, if you want me to set you up with a portal so you can live search the MLS, sign in, just put portal in that comment box or MLS search, and I'll get it set up for you as soon as I leave here so that you can get live information from the MLS and I won't pester you. And you're not going to hear back from like the 1,000 agents that you do when you ask for information on Zillow. Plus, did I mention that it's updated live from MLS and you can go in and you can search yourself? People love that idea. All right, any other questions for me today? That was super fast. Yeah, so Mark asked, is there a way to see contacts or leads that are active on your website in the last 24 hours, the last 7 days, or whatnot? Mark, all that information populates right here underneath recent contact activity, and it shows their activity that they did. So I can see the saved property. Let me go to a live account to just show you what that looks like in a better context. So I can see here that I just actually viewed a property. I signed into that open house. So I can see 9/9 activity. I can see that Scott Bush was on my website on September 2nd. I can see that John Spears opened my email on the 1st. So I can see all of that information of my recent contact activity right here on my dashboard. And it's listed in order of activity. Does that answer your question, Mark? Other questions? Yes, you can, and we're going to go through campaigns next week. So you are going to be emailed a copy of this recording, and it also is going to be posted on Facebook and YouTube. Today we went through how to edit your profile so that you know what's going on your website, how to manage your CRM and your contacts, and how to manage your listings. Next week, we're going through how to create email marketing, how to create email marketing campaigns, how to create print flyers, how to do action plans, how to create automated follow-up. And then in 2 weeks, we're going to be going through how to edit your website and what information is there. Nan, that's the hardest part. Awesome. Thank you all so much. I hope you have a great day. Yes, you're welcome. Michelle asks, what does the sign-in page offer for those who sign in? Michelle, they have the option to enter in and have the email, have the information from that open house either texted or emailed to them. So they get live information about the open house right there. Yeah, Layla, I would have Steve look into that. That seems something like there's just a setting that's missing. You're welcome. We'll talk to y'all soon.